Assalamu alaikum, brothers. Alhamdulillah.
My peoples, my peoples, my peoples. Good morning, y'all. First of all, let me kick this thing off by saying happy Sunday. Great night of boxing yesterday. Some real good fights coming up. Happy Saturday, y'all. JJ's in there, Has in the building. Jay Will is in the building. Tarzan Ropes, what's the deal? Bam. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Frank is in the building as well. Man, listen, my peoples. First of all, you guys know what it is, a special edition of Boxing for Breakfast. You get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. Kick this thing off with none other than Mrs. Sweet Poison, aka Fundora. Gabriella Fundora. Whoa, did you guys see that fight yesterday? Man, listen. Yo, Frank, what's the deal, my brother? Appreciate you dropping in. Always showing love. Listen, my people. Gabriella Fundora showed us yesterday once again that she is, in fact, indeed the truth. What a fight. What a fight. Um, Kubiki, her opponent, I'm not familiar with her. I hadn't seen her fight before, but she can fight. She can fight. She was there to try to win. She was going forward, fighting back at all times, landed some good shots here and there, but just Fundora was on another level. Combination punching is crazy. My peoples, enjoy your breakfast. I know it's early in the morning for some of you too. And I'm gonna enjoy mine. You enjoy yours, and we talking boxing Sunday morning. What better to be talking about than the sweet science? Come on now. JJ's in there. Today I'm having bagels, yogurt, and coffee. Ooh. Damn, yogurt and coffee. I don't know about that combination, bro. I don't know. I'm not comfortable with that combination, JJ. Tarzan ropes, clean fit. Appreciate it, brother. Bam. JJ's in there. There's one and only Jay Smith. You know it, my G. You know what it is. Listen, Oscar De La Hoya was saying that Gabriela Fondora could reach the number one pound for pound spot in the world within a couple of years. And I think, I understand what he's saying because he's very gifted, very talented. But how do you knock off Clarissa Shields? Well, Gabriela Fondora is going to keep accomplishing, but Clarissa is going to keep accomplishing. Like her accomplishments already, how do it's going to take a while to be able to reach that. So I think it's tough for her to get to that number one spot. But man, do you guys see anybody that's going to beat Gabriela Fondora? JJ's in there. I know what you mean, Jay Smith. Loma, got to give you credit. You predicted Terrence fight. I appreciate it, my brother. And I appreciate, Loma, that you say that because a lot of people who, and I said it before, in the midst of the action, we go back and forth. We trash talk each other. The fight is over. That's it. It's a done deal. There's no need for you to now, after the fight is over, to come with some bullshit. Like, oh, yeah, you said that, but whatever, it's one way or the other. You just happen to pick the right side. Basically, say how round number one through round number 12 is gonna play out. So some people that they's gonna look at it the way they want to. So I appreciate it, Loma, real talk. And enjoy your breakfast, Loma, and everybody else, because it's early. It's early for some of you. For me, it's not that early. Mm. Now, Gabriela Fondora showed out yesterday, but her brother's fighting Keith Thurman. Ooh, that's gonna be a good fight. That's gonna be a good fight for the people who think that Keith is just gonna get washed. Just remember, one time ain't never been washed in his career. So don't let the inactivity fool you into thinking that he not an elite level fighter no more. Mm-mm, mm-mm. One loss versus an all-time great. That's what Keith Thurman got. One. So come on now. You gotta respect one time. Mm. And I will say, the favorite to win this fight has to be Sebastian Fondora. It has to be. Why? He's number one, reigning world champion. He's been on a crazy run. And just the size, man. I always tell people, and they want to disregard it, how much of an impact that reach advantage can have if a guy is an elite level guy. The size, man. It's gonna be real tough. Look, think about this. The one time that Fedora lost a fight, he was on the inside trading leather. Bam, bam, bang in the phone booth, and he got clipped and ended up getting knocked out. But he was actually winning that fight. He was beating homie up. Boom. And in exchange, got clipped, got hurt, got stopped. But here's the problem. Fundora's been using that jab like crazy. Have you seen him in the last couple of fights? Did you see how he had that jab in Tenzu's face, his nose, his mouth, and his forehead? Pah, pah, that long ass jab. So now it's gonna be a real problem to catch Sebastian Fundora with that same shot that he got knocked out with. It's hard. I don't know who's gonna be able to catch him. JJ said, "Remember, J Smith, it's still my birthday." Golly, it's still your birthday? The whole day till like 12 o'clock at night or something? God damn. Armor G, what's your favorite martial arts besides boxing? I would say besides boxing, there's a few. It's hard for me to pick just one because I really enjoy watching Taekwondo. I enjoy, like I tell you what, I enjoy watching Taekwondo more than I enjoy watching MMA. It's just not as popular, obviously. But high level Taekwondo matches, I love watching it. When they get explosive with the kicks and the spinning and all that. Mm. I love watching Muay Thai boxing. Love it. Mm. And there's other martial arts that I enjoy. Lately, lately I've been watching judo, man. I don't even know why, but I've been watching that shit. JJ's in there. Let's thank Jay Smith. Oh, you welcome, my brother. Woo. I'm here for you guys, my peoples. Now, I want to say, when it comes to Keith Thurman and Sebastian Fundora, a lot of people is counting Keith out. And I'm telling you guys, this is going to be a good fight. It's going to be competitive. Keith is not going to be there to lose. He's not there. Nah. You have to consider the fact. with Thurman being in his mid 30s, he know that that clock is ticking. Those opportunities, and he has that chip on his shoulder that he wants to be a world champion again. He wants to get to that top, and this is it right here. This is that opportunity. I'm telling you, Keith Thurman. That's how you know I'm in Dominican Republic. You hear that? Christopher, what's up, brother? What do you think of Wash versus Vargas Jr.? That's it, man. Wash made me a believer. He made me, because the thing is, you could look good against lower level opponents, and then when they put somebody in front of you that can bang, it all changes. Now, Wash, now I believe, he washed Vargas. That's it. Washed him. Completely outclassed him. Just, there was never a moment in that fight where it looked like Vargas was going to win. And I did not expect that at all. In fact, I thought Vargas. I didn't really make a prediction on that fight because I didn't know Wash like that. I just knew he was good, but I didn't know how good. Damn, bro. Wash is for real. He's for real. That's it. We gotta accept it. Unlace Los Chucheros. Armor G. Thoughts on Tank versus Jake Paul? Well, come on, my peoples. We have to be honest. There's gonna be only two opinions. We're divided on it. There's gonna be the people that there's gonna be the empathy fans that's gonna say, "Well, I would have done the same thing, and you would have done the same thing too, right? So he got to get the money." And then there's the people who just want to see the best fights. So me personally, I'm disappointed because I wanted to see Lamar Roach versus Tank Davis too. In fact, I predicted. Nah, that's fake news, brother. The Christopher is not canceled. Tank Davis versus Jake. That was fake news when they said that it was canceled. But I actually predicted that Lamar Roach was gonna win that fight. I predicted. I was like, yo, Lamar Roach is gonna win the rematch. And people was like, nah, you wildin'. Tank is gonna knock him out. Look, Tank Davis ducked. So therefore, if you thought that Tank Davis was gonna knock him out in the rematch, Tank Davis don't believe you. Tank Davis team don't believe you. Let that sizzle in your spirit. And for people that say nah, cause you gotta take the bag, you gotta take the bag. Guess what? That fight was supposed to happen this month. It was supposed to happen this month. Let that sizzle in your spirit. So he would have already fought Lamont Roach, and he would have been fighting Jake Paul later in the year. He could have fought him. So the notion that he picked the bag is false. He ducked because he knew that he could have got his ass whooped. Come on, let's be honest. We don't have to cap. JJ's in the house. Effing clown. Show for a real boxing fan. See what I'm talking about? Yoda. So Atlanta Boxing Commission approved the fight. So here's the deal. Here's the deal around that. You have to understand that this is not a fight. It's an exhibition. An exhibition is different. It doesn't go by the same guidelines as an actual fight. In fact, I don't even think the commission has to approve an exhibition. This doesn't go on the record. I don't know. Honestly, I'm saying this as logically speaking, what I'm thinking. I'm not saying facts that I looked into, right? So I'm thinking to myself, it's an exhibition. Why would a commission need to be involved? But being that they will be, I guess, an exhibition of a sporting event, maybe there's certain guidelines that they do have to follow. Like They have to have a medic in place. They have to have certain things. But I don't think the weight disparity is going to be something that could get anybody to stop an exhibition from happening. Christopher, do you know Jersey Vargas? Big talent also. I've heard of him, but no, don't know. JJ said, "Man, hit the like button, everyone, as you had to appreciate it, my brother." Listen, my people, listen. We have to take into consideration, because we digressed from Keith Thurman and Sebastian Fundora. We have to take into consideration how Keith Thurman looked in his last fight. How did you? Did anybody here see the last fight? He fought that kid from Australia. Keith looked super sharp in that fight, and he fought an undefeated fighter. Undefeated fighter. You know, a young kid, obviously not as experienced, not hasn't been on a big stage like that, but still young, strong, and the kid was there to fight. But Keith looked super sharp, super fast, strong, explosive. You could not see any a shred of a sign of inactivity in Keith Thurman once that fight started. This guy looked like he was in the ring 4 months ago. JS in the house, don't be a duck. Hit that like button. Man, just double tap that screen. Yoda, why is Schofield ducking Javier Hernandez for Diaz? Honestly, I don't want to say he's ducking him because I'm not sure what are the circumstances. So it's hard for me to say, oh, he's ducking somebody. I wouldn't say he's ducking, to be honest. JS in the house, as a boxing fan, I want the best to fight the best, not a clown show. Listen, man, that's how most of us feel. Most of us want to see the best fight the best. We want to. We've been asking for Tank Davis to fight Shakur, for Tank Davis to fight Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney. He's doing a show with Jake Paul. It is what it is. JJ's in the house. As a boxing fan, I want the best. Oh yeah, man, I agree with you, bro. Jay Will, please don't want Andy Cruz smoke. People don't want Andy Cruz smoke. It bothers me, man, that Andy Cruz been inactive for the amount of time that he has. Like, damn, that sucks, man, because he could fight, but he's not getting fights. Not getting them. And if you remember, the last time we spoke about Andy Cruz, I said it, he has the skills and still the physical ability to become a world champion again. Simple as that. You allow him to fight somebody, get a win to so he could earn his shot. And he still has what it takes to beat anybody. On any given day, Andy Cruz can beat any heavyweight. Believe it. So, but that clock is ticking. He's been inactive for quite some time, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's in his mid 30s. Is he? Let me see, because I don't want to be guessing. I'll Google it, my peoples. You see, I fact check myself. I don't just make stuff up out of thin air. Andy Ruiz age. So there you go. Andy Ruiz is 36 years old, right there. See, so at 36 years old, he's still there. He still can perform at the highest level. He still can have a great training camp, but that clock is ticking. So he has to get in there. That's it. That inactivity, it has to end. Flip Jay Smith. Yes, I saw the fight, and Keith Thurman put hands all over that guy. Keith Thurman is still very sharp and still has something left in the tank. I advise no one to sleep on Thurman. But okay, that's what I'm talking about, bro. Keith, he looked super sharp, explosive, and that was a devastating stoppage. I was not expecting Keith to win that way, and he said it. The funny thing is that he said it in the presser. Like y'all gonna get the old Keith Thurman back, the one that's looking to knock people out. Because after a while, I lost that hunger and I started, you know, leaning more on boxing. I'm looking to knock people out now. He said it, and he delivered in that fight for sure. Jay Will, no, Andy Cruz, not Andy Ruiz. Andy Cruz is 30. Oh, nah, I'm wild. I was talking about Andy Ruiz, who is 36. Listen, Andy Cruz, bro, he's super special fighter too. I was saying Andy Ruiz because he hasn't been a champion in a while. Andy Cruz, man, and then he landed in Boots' team. Man, listen, and he be working with Boots. Man, listen, man, I'm gonna tell you what. It's a matter of time before we get Andy Cruz versus Keyshawn Davis. It's a matter of time before that fight happens. Let that sizzle in your spirit. Jay Will, he ranked number one for WBC for Shakur. John Parham, salute. Salute, family. Bam. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see if we get Andy Cruz versus Shakur Stevenson or versus Keyshawn Davis first. Because I think both of those fights are going to end up happening. I mean, because Shakur's going to fight Teofimo at 140. I think that fight is going to happen. So if Shakur fights Teofimo at 140, I think it could be a situation where it'll take a while before Shakur and Andy Cruz are right there in the same division. But let's see. Let's see how it all plays out. I do believe that we're going to see Andy Cruz step in the ring with Keyshawn Davis. That's going to be a big, big fight. And he's going to step in the ring with Shakur Stevenson. That'll be a big fight. John Parham, Jay Smith, salute again. Salute, my brother. Bam. Last warning, Jay Smith with another one. You know how we do it, my G. It don't matter that I'm not just Jay Smith. Right now, I'm Shadow Band Jay, my brother. Yes, sir. Took a little shadow banning. Hopefully, it don't go past 7 days. YouTube did me in. Netflix did me in. The Tank of Maniacs did me in. Yup. Just business. What's up, chat? Knuckle up. My peoples, all you gotta do is double tap that screen. Pop, pop. And that's already a like. People don't get confused when you just go like that. Pop, pop. Like. JJ says, hit the like button, everyone. Come on, stop playing them games. John Parham, just business, salute. Last warning, it's all good. We're gonna get back at it. Man, listen. Ain't nothing but a chicken wing. The Shadow Band episodes of Jay Smith, boxing, boxing for breakfast, it'll probably last like 6 days. And then we back at it. But my peoples, listen, don't get it twisted. We grinding, we working, we making things happen. This ain't nothing but a chicken wing. Jay Will, you too mad you eating better breakfast than them. It ain't nothing. It ain't nothing. We're gonna we're gonna get to where we going regardless, my peoples. That's all I can tell you. Nothing stop you from where you going. Last warning. We effing grinding hard. Ain't no stopping it. Ain't no stopping it. Just business. Sup, John? Yo. Oh, we talking about Canelo fight? Just turned a lot around. Jay Smith, how you get that coconut down? That wasn't a coconut, brother. That was a big ass avocado. I got that avocado tree. I had to handle it with a stick. Bah! Nah, I'm gonna keep it 100 because when I say a stick, it sounds gangster, and it really wasn't that gangster. It was a broom, to be honest with you. I took a broom, pop, handle business. That's why it took minimal damage. Handle business. But I tell you, it was a good one. I got some avocados right here, man. I got like 4 or 5 of them right now. Last warning. I know you gotta, I gotta keep it real, man. That's what I do. I keep it 100. I ain't gonna show up over here. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I had this stick right here, and boom, nigga, that shit was a broom. Fuck out of here. Jay Will, I forgot you said that about avocado. Yeah, man. You don't got that many left. I'm sad because avocado season is about to end for my ass. But it's still about a few more. I'm gonna be eating avocados for another week. My peoples, I digress. My bad, but I love this tree. This tree is an amazing one. Let me see because there's some upcoming fights that I wanted to talk to you about, but y'all got me out of order with these avocados. Hold on. Hold on, my people. Because there's some real good fights coming up. By the way, y'all out here, I want you to explain this to me. Why is it that the same people who's knocking Terrence Crawford, who was knocking Terrence Crawford for fighting Canelo Alvarez, who was saying, oh, he's only moving up for the bag. He's gonna get knocked out. He's only chasing the bag. He knows he's going to sleep. Bro, so if you was mad because you say he was chasing the bag, why would Tank Davis you talking about, I would do the same thing, and we would all do the same thing? You're a goofball. You're the goofiest of the goofiest. Jay Will, hold that boost last tune up at 154. John Parham, just business, yeah. About 700 for me, negative. That's all right, John Parham. You win some, you lose them. You win some, you lose some. That's going to happen. Gotta take a L sometimes. Just business. Everybody named two fights they want to see. Me, I want Charlo brothers to fight. Damn. I want another Roach fight. Listen, man. The Charlo brothers ain't gonna fight. I want. Oh, but you're not saying the Charlo brothers to fight each other, right? 'Cause damn. I'm gonna say you a savage. I'm gonna be honest, man. I would like to see Mel Charlo versus Buck Crawford. That's a fight I could get into. Because I know they don't like each other. I know that there's history, back and forth in social media and in person. In fact, after Terrence Crawford battered Errol Spence, he looked for Mel on the crowd and pointed at him like, "Yeah, you next. Bite your ass." So that's a fight that I would like to see. And if you remember when they was going back and forth in one of the, I don't remember if it was in an interview or where, Mel Charlo was like, man, you need to go handle Arrow. You got business to handle. You got Arrow over there. Go fight Arrow. He's gonna beat your ass. I'm busy up here. Don't talk to the big boys. Damn. And now Terrence Crawford put the Swiss bites on the same guy who pummeled you. Listen, let's be honest, my people. Canelo made it look super easy versus Jamal Charlo. Beat him up. Beat him up. And then Crawford showed up and made him look like a McDonald's delivery driver, working part time and playing video games in his basement all morning. John Parham, Jay, did you watch the last fight last night on the Zone? The pink slip fight? I, I watched that fight, bro, all the way through. You talking about Collazo and Vargas, right? I mean, and Bison. Collazo and Bison. It was a stoppage. They traded leather, and it went how it went. Just business. I hate to admit, but Terrence Rowe beat both brothers. I hate he didn't go for the TKO, but this era aren't toe-to-toe fighters. Look, man, I honestly believe that in the ninth round, when he started teeing off on Canelo, he could have stopped him. It could have been a stoppage. But he played it safe, and it was smart because you still have a great fighter in front of you. You still have a pound for pound guy in front of you with power who If he catch you with the right shot, you go to sleep. The whole fight changes. So he chose to box him and did a great job. JJ's in the house. Yes, I did. And you just fell asleep on the live. I did not fall asleep. I rested my eyes, and it was actually for like 10 seconds. 10 seconds. How you fall asleep in 10 seconds, bro? That's not enough time. So after those 10 seconds, I opened them again. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it, JJ. There you have it. Now, if you got proof, you're gonna have to prove it. You're gonna have to deliver your evidence. John J. Smith fell asleep on the live. There's no evidence for that. There's no evidence to support what you're saying. And I might say I don't remember falling asleep on the live. That's all I can say. Do it that way you will. But we digress, my peoples. Who won money on this fight? Who lost money on this fight? Guess what? Dana White lost. How much was it that Dana White lost? How many millions of dollars he lost on Canelo Alvarez? Damn, he was trying to come up. JJ said, go back to the video, J. Smith. We have the receipt. I have the receipt. The receipt is right there. You cannot fall asleep in 10 seconds. That's impossible, JJ. So there you have it. You don't have no evidence to support that claim. Just business. Anybody notice all the legends, kids don't box like they fathers. Vargas almost got mopped. Damn, yo, Vargas. Damn. Nah, but I gotta say, look, Vargas, I still say he has what it takes to become a world champion. He's a real good fighter. Liam Walsh outboxed him. Simple as that. He washed him. Washed him. We gotta be honest. And and the crazy thing is, if you watch the whole fight, there was a point where Vargas started getting in his rhythm. But it was too late. That's it. You've been outboxed throughout the whole fight. It was like, if I'm not mistaken, the seventh round. He started, landing more shots, making them miss, making them pay. But it was too late, man. He was way behind on the cards. Jay is in there. John, look it up. John Parham. Jay, I just saw it afterwards. Definitely a cat nap. Come on, John Parham. Come on, come on. Who takes a 10-second nap? That's impossible. Just business. You did a live with Camacho, kid. Do you think he dog with the hands? No, Camacho got hands, bro. Camacho got hands. Don't get it twisted. Trust me, he got hands. But like right now, he could still fight professionally and beat some good fighters. But he's already in his mid 40s, so you want to take care of your health. You don't want to get in there, and even if you win, take some punishment that could affect you down the line. JJ's in there 3 minutes and 10 seconds. What? Oh man, listen. You see, this that's not evidence, JJ, and I'm gonna prove it to you right now. I still remember that my internet was acting up. So you probably watching the image that froze for like 3 minutes and something, and when it unfroze, but now you tripping. It was actually 10 seconds. I don't remember exactly because I wasn't counting it. More or less 10 seconds, my people. Come on now. Come on now. I know what I'm talking about. I was right there. I witnessed it. My peoples. What's up with that Errol Spence coming back to fight Mel Charlo? Is that fight really happening? Is that fight really happening? Cause John Parham, it felt like 10 seconds. I'm telling you, if the Wi-Fi is acting up, right, and the internet is acting up, you're watching a frozen image for 3 minutes thinking I'm sleeping, and I've been awake. I mean, not awake, like my eyes been open because I never really slept. That's the point. I posted a video. I posted a vid. Well, I didn't post it on YouTube, but trust me, it was literally a few seconds. Don't let the Wi-Fi signal fool you, my people. JJ's in the house. You can't remember because you were asleep. Yo, nah, I was, bro. Trust me. If I would have fell asleep, I would have known I was asleep. I was right there, bro. I was seeing myself. Flip. You said who take a 10-second nap. Well, a guy that works hard to bring us the real deal. Salute Jay Smith. But please get some rest, my boy. I appreciate it, my guy. Actually, I'm about to take a nap later on. I'm gonna do that. Frank, you think Bud should fight David Benavidez if David comes down to 168? Well, look, Terrence Crawford is the champion, the undisputed champion in the division. So if Benavidez chooses to go down to 168, yes. Well, he has to meet Terrence Crawford. However, this is what I'm going to say. At this point, with the historic achievements of Terrence Crawford and him being 37 years old, I say he earned the right to fight whoever he wants to fight. Come on now. Come on. How can you say who he should fight when this guy already proved that he's the greatest, number one pound for pound in the world? Been doing it. John Parham, I used a similar excuse when I got caught sleeping at work. I called it praying. You see. But there you go. You admitted it. You admitted it. You were sleeping. I was not sleeping. I closed my eyes for 10 seconds. The Wi-Fi was acting up and the shit froze. So you think I'm sleeping, but I've been. My eyes wasn't probably even closed when you thought they was. That's the reality of this situation. Agent 17. I'm commentating again today. Today's gonna be much bigger than yesterday. Hell yeah, Agent 17. Do you, my G, and send that link. I'ma check in at least to say what's up, at least to show some support. John Parent Frank, I wanna see it. My peoples, listen. Tell me what you think about Errol Spence and Jermell Charlo. Who do you think wins that fight? Jason, that's John. Tell them that you are praying at work for a better job. Come on, my people. We ain't got to do all that. Look, man. Frank, Spence. You got Spence beating Mel Charlo? Whew. That's a good fight, man. That's a competitive fight. Um, Errol Spence versus Jermell Charlo. Who wins that fight? First of all, I have a feeling that becomes a rock'em sock'em robot type of fight from round number one. They'll jab with each other for a little bit, and we're gonna see fireworks in the first round. Boom, boom, boom. That's the first thing I can tell you. Second thing I can tell you, if any of the two get hurt, they're going to sleep. Any other two take a nasty shot where they get wobbled and there's time left in the round, they're going to sleep, regardless of who it is. So the real question is, who catches who with that shot? Who catches their opponent with the shot they don't see coming? Nice counter shot. Boom. I'm not even ready to make a prediction on that fight, to be honest. We're going to have to revisit. I met Terrence Buck Crawford, knocked out your big brother, and them cooks, your idol, David Berger. Videos will be hesitant to go to 168. David Berger. Oh, David Berger is David Benavidez. Come on, man. Do you even watch boxing, man? Like David Berger. Nah, you don't follow boxing. You don't follow boxing. AIMAD. You don't follow boxing. David Berger, just shut your mouth and watch us. Let us talk and you can learn. You don't follow boxing. My boy said David Berger. JJ's in the house. Rock'em Sock'em Robots and Fireworks. It's a great combo. I think because if you think about it, Errol Spence is not a guy. He has good footwork, but he's not a guy who likes to dance around you. And the same thing with Mel Charlo. He wants to bang. So you put these two guys together, and we already know their preferred style. We're gonna get some fireworks, some nasty ones. I'm Matt Spot. I'm friends with David, and have a connection to him. Jay Smith, I sent your channel to my friend who's cousin with Benavides. He said he'll try his best to help you out. I appreciate it, my brother. Salute. John Parham. I didn't feel like cooking breakfast until I just seen a chick with no arms or legs cooking breakfast. Damn, bro. Come on now. If she cooking her breakfast, golly. At least a bowl of cereal, my boy. John Parham. Guess I set up the Blackstone. Handle business, man. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day, my people. Salute to everybody who's tuning in. This is a special edition Shadow Band J Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning, my peoples. Um, the pound for pound list is gonna remain where it's at. No changes. Naoya Inoue won in explosive fashion, but his win does not supersede what Terence Crawford accomplished. Thus, he stayed at the number 3 spot because Alexander Usyk also got a more impressive win, and he was at the number 1 spot. Young Guns, Prime Floyd beats, but not sure why this is a debate online. It's a debate online because people see that Terence Crawford, number 1, hits a lot harder, has a lot more power, and is also a very skilled fighter. So a lot of people think that Bud would have lumped them up. Of course. And when you see great fighters saying it, that's real talk. The thing is that Terence Crawford never got credit for his real accomplishments, all he's accomplished in his career. When people say, oh, he only beat Arrow, he only beat one guy that was hurt. Either you don't like him or you don't know shit about boxing. That's the only way that you could say that. Don't like him, don't know shit about boxing. No getting around it. This guy has an amazing resume. And I'm not saying that he got a better resume than Floyd, because Floyd had the opportunity to fight more names, to fight more guys who were in the mix for getting into the pound for pound list. He had more opportunities than Crawford to face those type of opponents. But that doesn't diminish what Crawford has been able to accomplish. Because if we go tick for tack, then I can tell you, okay, that's true. Floyd Mayweather fought more names, but he never became undisputed. And Crawford became undisputed 3 times. And let me tell you, people really don't understand how hard it is to become undisputed. Like so many people undisputed that it makes a lot of fans think that it's easy to become undisputed. And it's really not, my peoples. Think about the history of boxing. Boxing is over 100 years old. Over 100 years old. And go see how many people have been undisputed. It's hundreds of champions. Hundreds of elite level fighters. Go see how many been undisputed. It's only Terence Crawford who have been undisputed in 2 divisions until Naoya Inoue and Usyk did it. It was only Terence Crawford in the hundreds of years of boxing, or over 100 years. Only Bud Crawford. What does that tell you? Come on, you have to understand that. And right now, we all know this. 3 division undisputed champion. It's only Terence Crawford. Let that sizzle in your spirit, my peoples. Sugar Ray Leonard, Sugar Ray Robinson, Evander Holyfield, Duran, Hagler, Marvelous Marvin Smoking Joe Frazier. Come on, my peoples. Lennox Lewis. Think about all the great champions, Rocky Marciano. Think about all the great champions that you could think of. And not one has been able to accomplish undisputed in 3 divisions. All these great fighters. None of them. None of them did it. And it's not fair. Let me be honest. It's not fair for me to name the heavyweights because obviously, if you started at heavyweight, it's not like you're gonna drop down to accomplish certain feats. But still, look at all the other guys. Look at Sugar Ray Leonard. Look at Duran. Look at Floyd Mayweather. Look at Manny Pacquiao. Look at Oscar De La Hoya, Tito Trinidad, Bernard Hopkins, Roy Jones Jr. A lot of great fighters who moved up a lot of divisions. Nobody ever went undisputed in 3 divisions. Ever in the history. So the notion that Crawford doesn't have a chance against Floyd, that's crazy. Because he accomplished some things that Floyd didn't. We don't have to go tick for tack. I know how many Floyd beat 20 something world champions. I know. But all I'm saying is that Crawford also has accomplishments that Floyd didn't get. I met Spot. Errol deserves a tune-up. I mean, I believe so. That's what I've been saying. I've been saying that he should come back to a tune-up because he's been inactive for that much time. Because he took that pummeling. That was a nasty beating that he took, my peoples. How often do you say this fight is going to win, and when he is winning, you feel bad for the opponent? How often that happens? I predicted, look at this. I predicted that Terrence Crawford was going to stop Errol Spence between the 8th and the 9th round. That was my prediction, right? And when Crawford was pummeling him, that it became obvious that Errol was overmatched, I started celebrating because it's looking like my prediction is going to happen. You see this moment that I had with the Canelo fight where people hit me up and was like, yo, Jay, you was right, you was right. It's the same thing. I predicted that fight to a T, how it was going to play out. So I'm seeing it playing out. I'm celebrating it like, yes, I told you. And then eventually my celebration transitions into feeling bad, y'all. I was feeling bad for Errol. When he was taking those big shots, that you saw his afro bouncing around, bro. Poof, poof, uppercut, boom, poof, left hook, poof, poof. Bro, I was feeling bad for Errol. I'm like, damn, baby. Errol's out there getting beat up. That's it. I wanted them to stop it. John Parham share the live. Hell yeah, my peoples. Everybody should share this live. Everybody should share the Boxing for Breakfast live. Appreciate you, John Parham, of course. But again, man, Errol Spence took a nasty beating, and because of that, I said he should come back to a tune-up. He shouldn't come back and get in a fight where he could take some punishment right after what just happened. But how long ago that was already? He's been inactive all this time. It's already 2 years. Frank, Sugar Ray Robinson, Henry Armstrong, Sam Langford, Terrence Crawford, the Mount Rushmore of boxing. Now, when you make that Mount Rushmore, it's going to be tough to leave Terrence Crawford out. It's going to be tough, buddy. George Jacket, I'm here to gloat, salute, bam. John Parham, Sugar Ray, low key the GOAT. Bro, Sugar Ray Leonard and Sugar Ray Robinson. Both of the Sugars. And Sugar Shane Mosley. All 3 of those Sugars bait you into a diabetic coma. Age of 17. John, if you want to watch me commentate live, it's Chatsy 2542 on Twitch. Sorry. the self promo. You just want to tell them. Nah, my people, listen. Listen, Agent 17, you always show me love, always support the channel, always support Jay Smith. So, yes, definitely when you step in and you're going to do your thing, plug yourself, my brother. Let the people know where you at, where they can find you. JJ's in the house, Jay Smith. I have to go to work. Take care, everyone. My wife is going to take me out for a birthday lunch. Ooh! JJ, I already told you, you have to protect that woman at all costs. At all costs. She's making an example for all humanity for women to know how things need to be handled. So protect her, please. And salute, my brother. Much respect. Bam. Agent 17. Okay, bet. Thank you, Jay Smith. Have a good one. Happy birthday, JJ. Hell yeah, happy birthday, my brother. John Parham, JJ. You should be 80 with all the birthdays. Come on, bro. My man's has been celebrating his birthday for a whole week. Golly, how you celebrate a birthday for a whole damn week? This needs to be studied. Okay, this needs to be studied and standardized across the globe. Joe Jacket, why did this live take so long? But for last week, Jay Smith, don't wait so long after a fight to come live, bro. Joe Jacket, you've been missing in action, bro. I've been live pretty much every day since the fight. I don't know what you're talking about, bro. I guess you missed the September 14th episode of Boxing for Breakfast. Oh man, that was an epic cooking show. I might add. Joe Jacket, I am sub and look for the stream over and over. I was shadow banned. I've been shadow banned, my brother. I was shadow banned for a week straight right after the fight, and then I went a week straight. Everything was good, and then I got shadow banned again on Monday. Boom. No, I got shadow banned again like 2 days, 3 days ago. Something like that. John Parham, Joe, we had like 15 lives, bro. Yup, 15 lives since. John Parham, YouTube was tripping. Keep notifications on. Listen, my peoples, keep the notifications on, and there's a possibility that you might not get a notification. So you guys know that I'm on usually between 6:30 in the morning and 8 in the morning. So even if you don't get a notification, look for me. Because when you shadow ban, it makes it a lot harder to find the channel. So even if you subscribe, it's a toughie. JJ's in the house. Thanks, everyone. I'm still celebrating my birthday and Crawford's win. Ooh! You forgot one thing. You celebrating that little extra bread you got off of that win. It's okay. Agent 17, you two hating on Jay Smith, man. Come on. Alex is a trucker. Are we going to see a Canelo versus Crawford rematch? Interesting question. So there's two ways to look at it. Number one, that rematch, it doesn't really make sense for Canelo because it's gonna play out the same way. So now it's gonna be like, oh my god, we convinced the guys will beat you up 10 out of 10 times, and it might even be worse. Now Terrence Crawford might say, okay, I'm stopping you, beat you up, worse. So from that standpoint, it's not a good point. It's not a good idea. If you're looking at it solely from the business standpoint, it makes sense. It makes sense. You're gonna make 150, another $150 million. Go the distance, get punched in the face. This time, put it on cruise control. You already know you're gonna lose, so just try not to take a lot of damage, and that's it. Me personally, Canelo has a lot of money. I would say, and he 150 million in this fight. How many paydays Canelo's seen? Like he has a lot. He has, the type of wealth that he doesn't have to fight. He doesn't have to fight for that bag. I think he has other options. If I was on Team Canelo, I would explore other options. I would not fight a rematch with Terrence Crawford and get beat up for a second time. I know there's people out there saying Canelo's gonna beat him in the rematch. He'll beat him. No, it'll play out just like this. John Parham, Bud not going to take a Floyd fight. No, Floyd won't dare step in there with Crawford right now. He knows how this plays out, and it's not even about Crawford being better. Come on, Floyd is 50 years old already. This would be crazy. Crawford will beat him up. He will pummel him. Agent 17, Floyd won't fight unless he can dictate every single rule from weight to ring size. It doesn't matter what rule he could dictate. He's not getting in the ring with Terrence Crawford. He knows how that plays out. That's a nasty beating that he's not trying to take. John Parham, okay, you're a few hours from Clarksville. George Jack and Agent 17, you mean Tank? JJ said that's crazy work, Jay Smith. Has been live every day before and after the Crawford fight. Little haters. You see me? You see me, my peoples. I've been grinding. I've been working. I've been giving you this sweet science. That's it, my peoples. This is what I do. John Parham, Bud will cook Floyd at this age. That's what I'm saying. Floyd Mayweather's too old. Floyd has to fight Manny Pacquiao. You see why? Because they're close to the same age. Close to the same size. Make that fight. Stacks Dinero. Any thoughts on Berlanga? Is he a fluke? Honestly, I feel like Berlanga is just not as good as people thought he is, or as people thought he was. He's a good fighter, but I think because of his popularity, people want to see him as this more than better than what he is. Simple as that. Look, he got two losses, right? He lost to Canelo Alvarez, and he was never competitive in that fight. There was never a moment where it felt like he even had a chance. And then he fought Hamza Shiraz, and we saw how that played out. He got beat up, completely outgunned, outclassed, and just beat up. So why would I think that Edgar Berlanga is one of those guys? And I'm gonna tell you something, because I like Berlanga as a fighter, but I remember there was a point a couple years ago where he started talking about, yeah, we got money, we making money, what's up? And he started talking about he's the king of New York and all this. And I'm like, what? Like I noticed he started acting kind of like what we saw Broner acting when he started making money. Only thing Broner had accomplished, Broner had won titles in multiple divisions. Berlanga haven't done anything yet. And he talking about he's the king of New York and all this stuff. And when I saw that, I was like, you know what? This guy, he's gonna have a problem with discipline. That's it. He's not gonna be one of the guys. And what I noticed, and I spoke to you guys about it, I've been following Edgar Berlanga and Xander Sayers for like maybe like 5 years, 4 years, right? And I started following them together. And I can tell you, no, I've been following them longer, but I started following them at the same time. And I remember noticing years down the line how much more sharper Xander Sayers looked. Like I could see his progression, how much better he was getting, how much faster, how much. And when I look at Berlanga, if you look at tape of Edgar Berlanga from 5 years ago, and you look at tape of his last fight, it's the same Berlanga. It's like there was no progression. You see Xander Sayers progressing. You don't see that progression in Berlanga. It's almost like he reached his level. He reached that peak already of his skills. And Xander Sayers just keep growing. So every time we see Xander in the ring, we see something special. We see something that he does. A certain counterpunch, a certain combinations, a certain movement. We see things that say, yeah, this kid is special. But when it comes to Edgar Berlanga, he's still looking like 2020 Edgar Berlanga. The same. The, he looks the same. And I, those of you who've been subscribed to the channel long enough know I told you guys I'm not sold on Edgar Berlanga. I got Hamza Shiraz beating him up. If he could beat him, then he could change my mind. But I don't see him winning that fight. And look, he got pummeled. Got pummeled, bro. Stash dinero. Bendiciones. Have a great show. Saludando desde RD. Salud. Bam. Appreciate it, brother. Juan Ocasio. Good morning, back center fam. John Powell. Superman auntie was on Mill City with BS last night. Superman. John. I'm on T-Mobile, bro. You gotta hit me offline. You never do it anymore. You on T-Mobile, my G. J. Will and Billy Iglesias, Hamza, Diego. I take all over Berlanga. Like I said, man, Edgar Berlanga, he's a good fighter. I don't see greatness. I just don't see it. You know how I see Edgar Berlanga? The same way I see Jared Anderson. They both right there. Edgar Berlanga, Jared Anderson. They both got talent, but they don't seem to have the discipline to be able to go all the way. Look at Jared Anderson too. Just like I said about Berlanga. Was talking about we making money, we got money. I remember a couple of years back he said, I don't care for no title, we making money. Right there, that's it, I jumped off the bandwagon. I was like, damn, this guy ain't going nowhere. When this guy run into a hungry fighter who wants to go somewhere, he gonna get beat up. And what happened when he ran into what's the name, the African brother? That beat him up, beat him up. See, so Jared Anderson is somebody who has the skills, has the talent. But I was like, nah, man, this guy, that's it. I'm off the bandwagon. Jared Anderson and Edgar Berlanga, I see them the same. Guys that are real talented, but I don't even see them becoming world champions because they personal lifestyle and the way they move, it don't look like they have that discipline to me. Jay Will, I never thought much of him. Berlanga biting tune-up fighters in neck. Look, man, let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you another reason why I wasn't rocking with Berlanga. I want you guys to look at his last two fights before he fought Canelo Alvarez. He fought Quigley in the UK and I forgot who else. Bro, Berlanga went life and death with guys who's never been world champions, who never will be world champions. He went life and death with good fighters. Quigley's a good fighter. And the other guy he fought a good fighter. But he went life and death with these guys. And I don't remember which one of those fights was it. But people was like, yo, Berlanga lost that fight. He lost. He got his ass beat. They gave him that. I can't remember if it was Quigley or if it was the other one. So I'm like, damn, if he's in a dog fight, and then, because he was on the beginning of his career was a knockout streak, right? But you know, those was the lower level opponents. Then they start stepping you up. The last two fights before he stepped in the ring with Canelo Alvarez, he went life and death with decent fighters. Life and death. I was like, nah, man, nah. When it's time to step up and fight a dog, he gonna get lumped up. He not that dude. He too busy talking about I'm the king of New York, and look at this chain, and I'm iced out, and look at the nice fit, and oh, he too busy trying to be a star, trying to be a celebrity. He not that guy, my people. I'm sorry to tell you. George Jackin, he shouldn't go up anymore unless it's the trucker. Hey Jay, the guy name was Bacoli. Bacoli. Alexis appreciated. Bacoli, my people. You see? What happens when Jared Anderson ran into a hungry fighter? He's sitting over there talking about we got money, we pay, yeah, we balling. and you run into a hungry dog that's looking for an opportunity. But Cody put the beats on him. And it was a brutal beating. Humbled him. Humbled him. At the end of the fight, was like, I'm still happy. I got my family, and I'm good. We happy. Fuck is you talking about? You happy? You got beat up. John Parent, he matched at 168. Superman, he's good for promo. John Parent, social media problems. Juan Ocasio, then Bacoli lost his next fight after. See, that's the thing. Bacoli's also one of those fighters. Well, I want to say this because I was gonna say he may have discipline issues, but we got to remember he got his very next fight on a short notice, a few days notice. But still, I think Bacoli's the type of fighter who he's always gonna be a danger to anybody. He's big. He got that reach. He got that power. Catch you with a shot, it's a wrap. Jay Will, John Parent Anderson is cooked like Golden Corral steak. Jay Will, Charles Martin, if you remember, on 2 weeks' notice, was catching Anderson big time. If you have full camp, I think Martin wins. Yeah, Martin Bacoli, man, he can fight. He a skilled fighter. George Jacket, Billy Crawford should only take money fights now. Superman, Anderson is as questionable about whether to fight or not. Man, listen, Jared Anderson, like I told you, I expected a lot more of him. I thought that Jared Anderson, at one point, I was like, this is going to be the next big heavyweight to run the division for a long time. I thought it was going to be Jared Anderson. I really, listen, my peoples, I really had hopes that Jared Anderson was going to be the next heavyweight to, like Usyk, for example. How long has Usyk been a world champion and then became undisputed, now defended his crown again? So Usyk has already been a world champion in the division. We know that he's the guy. Of course, he's the number one pound for pound fighter in the world, so that says it all right there. But I felt like Jared Anderson was headed for that. Even Tyson Fury, Tyson Fury endorsed Jared Anderson once. I remember he was like, yo, this kid right here, he's next. He's gonna take over the division. But damn, bro, damn. Lee Booski, he's just like Edgar Berlanga. That's what I'm just saying, my brother. That to me, Jared Anderson and Edgar Berlanga, they're very similar because both guys, before they accomplished anything, they started talking about their money and how they're making a lot of money and their wealth and iced out chains and an entourage, a team around them. All of this stuff, it's like they're trying to be, or they are big stars without having accomplished anything. And when that happens, fighters usually their careers go downhill unless they've actually already made it. Because here's the thing that you have to understand. When you take a successful fighter that's made a lot of money, right? Let's say Terrence Crawford. And I'm not even gonna say Terrence Crawford because he's smart with his money. He don't blow his money like that. Let's say Adrian Broner. You take a fighter like Broner and he goes shopping. He buys these chains that cost $50,000, these earrings that cost $100,000. They spend all this money in jewelry, and at the moment they living like superstars. But what happened down the line? Look where's AB right now. I'm gonna give you guys a scary statistic that I need you to consider. Yo, over 80% of boxers are broke within 5 years of retirement. Within 5 years. Boxers who retire with money, millions, within 5 years, most of them is already broke. And then within 10 years, more than 90% is broke. That's it. Dead broke. You know why? Because of that. Because they do. what Jared Anderson is doing. They do what Berlanga's doing. They haven't even seen the $20 million checks and the $30 million checks, but they want to roll like the dudes that's making 20, 30 million. But you're not making that much money, bro. You're not. So yeah, Floyd Mayweather got an entourage. He got a whole team around him. Yeah, you see these other fighters who got a team. But bro, you don't need to have a whole team around you like that. You don't need to have $100,000 chain. But these guys want to portray that they making the money and that they superstars without accomplishing anything. So what happens? You put in too much energy into being a star, into being a celebrity. While these other guys, they just hungry. They just hungry. They not interested in the chain. They not interested in the car. They just hungry. Trying to get that opportunity, being dogs. While y'all niggas is out there trying to be celebrities. It's a difference. It's a difference. When you have a fighter who's focusing on being a star, there's gonna be a lot of things that he's not doing that these other guys are doing consistently. John Parham, I need to plan another trip to New York. Meet too many solid YouTubers, homies. Superman G, Jamie Juan Pre Daily, and Tago, age of 17. I'm gonna prep my commentating. Salute my brother. Age of 17, I'm going live in 20. There you have it, my peoples. Age of 17 is gonna be live. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, listen. Because there's a fight that I wanted to tell you about that is on schedule, and I want to make sure we don't miss it. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on, my people. So here we go. Check it. Check it, check it. Hold on. Hold on, my people. We got some real good fights coming up. So on October 11th, we got Jerome Boots Ennis versus Wisma Lima. So we finally get to see Boots making his debut in the 154 division. Now, what what I've been hearing or seeing on social media is that Boots is gonna fight Virgil Ortiz in early 2026. This suggests to me that it's possible that we could get Jerome Boots Ennis versus Wisma Lima, and then the very next fight, Boots versus Virgil. I'd love to see it. We want to see Boots and Virgil mix it up. And the fans are like split down the middle with that one. Some people feel like Virgil is going to smoke him with the power, with the pressure. Some people feel like Boots is going to just outbox him and make it look easy. Let's see it, man. Let's see. I hope we can get that fight in early 2026. I think Eddie Hearn is the one who floated that around, said that, yes, they're going to make that fight happen. Hold on. Then, October 25th, Sebastian Fundora versus Keith One Time Thurman. The Tower Inferno versus One Time. Whew, we're gonna get some fireworks. That fight is going to be explosive. I know that Keith Thurman has a chip on his shoulder. You know, anybody who's diminishing him and saying that say he's done, the guy took one loss to a great fighter. He's definitely not done. Did you see his last fight? Did you see it? Come on, my peoples. Keith Thurman was sharp. He was strong. He was explosive. Stopped his opponent. Come on now. Rock Mags. Glory Man United. Alrighty then. Juan Ocasio, Danny Garcia has a fight coming up, bro. On October 18th, Danny Garcia versus Daniel Gonzalez. Junior middleweights. My people's Danny Garcia will be back in action. I expect him to win that fight simply because Daniel Gonzalez hasn't been on that type of stage. You know, he's a guy who can fight, but he hasn't been in the type of stage that Danny Garcia been in. And Danny's an elite level fighter. He's been inactive, but still, you know, you take a guy like that and you match him up with someone like Daniel Gonzalez, and he's gonna find a way to beat him. It could turn into an interesting fight. Daniel can fight, but Danny's gonna put the beats on him ultimately. October 25th, my peoples. Now this is gonna be a slugfest. This is gonna be a serious slugfest, my peoples. Joseph Parker versus Fabio Wardley. Come on now. Listen, Parker versus Wardley is without a doubt gonna be a slugfest. The heavyweights are gonna be going at it. I got Joseph Parker winning that fight. I know that Fabio Wardley is a dangerous fighter. You know, he carries a lot of power in both hands. If he lands, if they're in an exchange and he lands with a big shot, he could cut your lights out right then and there. But I'm rocking with my man Joseph Parker. He's been on a good run. He's been getting some great wins, and he's been looking real good. I got him winning this fight. October. No, no, no. Let me pass that. November 1st, Joshua Buatsi versus Zach Parker. Come on now. The light heavyweights are going to be going at it. That's another showdown that we can expect fireworks. This is going to be a slugfest. This is going to be a legitimate slugfest, my people. November 8th, Virgil Ortiz versus Erickson Lubin. Look, I expect Virgil Ortiz to win that fight, but I'm going to say Erickson Lubin is a fighter who is not to be underestimated. He can fight, very skilled. He got power, and he can fight on the inside, but he can also box you. So Virgil Ortiz, I think he's gonna have a tough opponent in front of him, and he's gonna have to break him down over time. He could get the stoppage, but you got to be careful. Erickson Lubin can fight, and of course, November 14th, Jake Paul versus Tank Davis. Jake Paul versus Tank Davis. I'm dubbing this the empathy fan fight, the empathy fight, the empathy exhibition. I would do the same thing if I was Tank Davis, and we would all do the same thing. It's because he's gonna make a lot of money, and I would do it too. I want to put myself in his feet. Golf balls, golf ballery. But yes, Jake Paul and Tank Davis will be having an exhibition fight on November 14th. Some people are saying that Jake Paul's too big and too strong and all this stuff. My people, it's just an exhibition fight. Ain't nobody getting hurt. This is a show, an exhibition. This is for entertainment purposes. So if you're thinking that somebody's gonna get hurt, you can forget about that. Not happening. Tank not gonna get hurt. Jake Paul not gonna get hurt. They're gonna land a few punches, you know, act like they boxing for real. But ultimately, this is a show. Stop the madness. Stop saying or believing that somebody's gonna get hurt or knocked out. November 15th, Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Ben. My people. That's a rematch that I believe is going to be a little bit different than the first fight. And I'm gonna tell you why that rematch is going to be different. Chris Eubank Jr. took a lot of punishment. He won the fight, but he ended up in the hospital and drinking through a straw for I don't know how many days. Like he took a nasty beating in that win. Because of that, I believe that he's not gonna fight that same type of fight. If you notice, Eubank Jr. brought Bomac to his team again. A lot of people don't know this, but they worked together before. That was a fight. I remember that Eubank Jr. either lost or it was a draw, and he went to the rematch with Bomac in his corner. He won that fight. I think that was last year or 2 years ago. I can't remember. But I seen Bomac in his corner before. It's not the first time. I believe that Bomac was brought to the team because they feel like Eubank Jr. can beat Conor Ben, but they want him to win in a fashion where he's not going to take that much punishment, in a more clean fashion. So that is why I'm going to tell you right now, we're not going to see as much action in this fight as we saw in the other one. I'm not saying it's not going to have action. It's going to have action. But compared to the first one, I, I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going to be that much action. Why? Because we're going to see Chris Eubank Jr. use that jab more, use that footwork more, use that movement more. And you're not going to see him, stepping in on the inside and trading as much where he's eating two, three, four big shots. Boom, boom, boom. He's not going to put himself in the line of fire as often as he did in that first fight. Because that's the one thing. I believe Eubank Jr. underestimated Conor Ben's ability to take a punch. That's, I think, part of it. He felt like he was going to just spark him out of it. And Conor Ben would eat his biggest shots and return fire right away. I don't think Chris was ready for that. And because of it, he took a lot of punishment himself. LB Jersey. Shout out to Box Center with Jay, my peoples, with Jay Smith, the future boxing. ¿Qué lo que, tigre? Manito, ¿qué lo que? Tú sabes, estamos aquí activos hablando de boxeo, hablando de todas estas trompas que volaron el fin de semana y las que vienen por ahí. John Parrow, who you got starting at QB and wide receiver and running back? LB, salute. Been a minute. Juan Ocasio, I'm in like 4 leagues. God damn. You are sports addicts. Yes, sports addicts. Um, my peoples, I'm about to end this live, but before I do, I want to say, man, salute to everybody who tuned in on this Sunday morning. Another episode of Shadow Band J. My peoples, look, don't worry about it. This Shadow Band, it might last 7 days. I'm not sure. I think it will. We're still gonna be live. We're still gonna be here Mondays through Fridays, boxing for breakfast, and it's gonna be better than ever as it usually is. Salute to everybody who tuned in this morning. John Parham, JJ's in there, has LB Jersey who's tuning in right now, and everybody else who showed up, man. I appreciate you guys. You already know what it is, man. This is Box Center, your favorite boxers, favorite boxing show, another special edition of Boxing for Breakfast. I'm out of here, my peoples. Jay Smith, I'm signing off. Peace.